This is about Caylee and getting her back. It hasn't got a thing to do.
Is there anything that, here's where you and I lock horns every night, because I'm really having a hard
Good.
time on understanding this. Is that, all right, is that I don't understand where you get this theory that she handed someone, you're rather specific, that she handed her off to someone. Where do you come up with that? I mean, where is it anywhere grounded in any fact or any fact with a reasonable inference that you can draw from it? Where do you get that?
Here's where I get it, okay? There's a situation where these people that are fugitives or liars that I've dealt with over 33 years, they tell half-truths. They'll tell a story. I handed her to Zenaida Hernandez or Fernandez Gonzalez. Okay? I don't think she did. I think it was somebody else. We just don't know who somebody else is.
Why couldn't it be a half-truth? Let me say hypothetically that she did, that her half-truth is that she didn't hand her to someone, but that the half-truth being is that she didn't hand her to someone, but that she did something to her. That's a half-truth.
That's the law enforcement's job. And so far, they haven't come up with enough to arrest her on anything like that. So that's their job. I'm looking for her alive. They're looking for her dead.
I think they'd love to find her alive, but I think what they're finding is that they're not getting cooperation from her. And unfortunately, everyone would like to have the faith that you have, but it's really hard to have the faith that you have when you've got a mother who won't cooperate and you don't have any sort of corresponding facts. Even this Zenaida, if Zenaida Gonzalez came forward and said, you know, she brought the child to me, we'd feel better about it, or it would seem more reasonable to have that inference.
That's why I don't believe there's a Zenaida Gonzalez. I think she handed it off to one of her friends that she was in that little clique with. It could even be the real child's father.
But I mean,
why?
Look, Leonard, I'd love to have that thought. I would absolutely love to have that thought, because nothing more than anything else, I'd love to see that little girl alive. And you know, I want to be so wrong on this. I just don't have anything that I can sort of, you know, sink my teeth into that makes me think like, yes, in fact, she did that, when her behavior has been one to not cooperate with the police and to tell a web of lies and to go out partying with their daughter missing. I mean, there's just nothing that gives me any comfort in sort of believing what you believe.
Now, when the DNA, 30 pieces of evidence that they're investigating, comes back and you're right, then I'm wrong. But until then, I'm going to pursue the fact that the child's alive. I really understand. Now, 4 days ago, you know, as some of these critics say, oh, they're not going to get her out of jail. I mean, is the man going to buy us all steak dinner tonight? She's out of jail.
Well, we'll get him to. We'll make sure that we get that dinner. But I must say, and I must say one thing, Leonard, is that under the law, she is presumed innocent. And should she ever be charged, something she should, you know, she should have that constitutional right, presumption of innocence. It's just very difficult when her behavior is such to be able to, at least for me, to develop that presumption of innocence. Although I'm certainly not sitting on a jury in which she is facing charges, but nonetheless.
We today are looking at her charged with the same charges that the gentleman in Massachusetts, when his wife came back and said, where's the baby, or the 7-year-old, and he says, I don't know. They arrested him for child neglect, and he's got a $500,000 bond also.
Well, Leonard, like I say every night, that this is the case where I so want to be wrong, but I'm having a hard time. That's why I grill you for the basis of your view, because I'd like to be able to think like you do in this, but you and I just don't. You know, I can't get that.
And believe me, I understand. All I'm saying is, the law enforcement has not charged her with any more than what she's charged right now, and it's been better than 30 days since they collected most of that evidence.
All right, so what's the plan? Is that she's going to stay in this house for the next, till she goes to court on the neglect and the lying allegations, right? Essentially, right now there's a trial set in November, and unless law enforcement does something different, that's where she's at. She's got a 10-page booklet that she has to follow regulations, and we're providing security. We increased it because of the threats. I mean, it's just crazy. It's just crazy and insane. Are the threats to you or to her?
Threats to us, threats to her, and threats to the family.
Like, can you be specific? Like, you know, like what kind of threats?
Well, to us, it's because you know, if you're going to do this, we're going to make sure you pay for this in the ultimate way. To her, it's we're going to kill the bitch as soon as she gets home, and to the family, we're going to burn the house down.
How are these threats coming in? Are they coming in by email, by telephone?
Some come email, some come on the phone, some come on, you know, just all over the place, all over the place.
Has that been turned over to law enforcement?
And they come in, and they come in from all over. Yes, I've contacted the FBI regarding the threats, yes.
Leonard, thank you, and I hope you come back as the case develops. Thank you, Leonard.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you very much.
On the Record, producer Justin Wells spent a large part of his day at the home of Casey's parents, and not surprisingly, Justin was not alone.
We're outside the Anthony home right now, and the media's completely camped out. So inside, you've got her brother, you've got her parents, you've got the bounty hunting team. This truck just pulled up late this afternoon. This truck is part of the bounty hunting team. We saw Rob Dick, who's heading security. It's a pretty big trailer here, and there's their team is basically monitoring what's going on inside of the house, talking to the female that's inside handling security. Up here you can see that one of the cars is in the driveway. Usually they have their two cars in the driveway. That's because they've left one spot open so people can get in and out of the house rather quickly. And back here, the media, you see the trucks just strewed all along, all the way down. You see a satellite truck. That's one of the networks. The local media's here. They're doing live shots here. Over here's our Fox News crew and the Fox News tent. We lost one tent earlier today. It blew right over because Faye is still hitting us band after band after band. Now we've had about 6, 7, at one point 12 people were holding down the tent while they're preparing to do a live shot at 6 p.m. Now they're getting ready for the Fox report at 7 o'clock. And still the winds just keep coming in band by band by band. Media's all around. That's the Fox News sat truck. The other media organizations just pulled out just a few minutes ago because the weather was just too bad. But these trucks and cars all up and down the street are the photographers. They're all sticking around just in case something happens. But it's very difficult to go live right now in these conditions.